Hi everybody. So you're listening to the sound of me unpacking my delivery that's just arrived. So I can actually show you the physical stamps. That's all of them. So how are you all? So it looks like we're connected. Hi Caroline on YouTube. Morning my darling. Mr. M's watching on YouTube. Kathleen, anybody on Facebook? Hopefully you're there. Let me just sort these out. I'm eating cake as well. I thought I'd just have a piece of cake because this is going to be a long session. Piece of lemon cake. Very nice. Sue's on Facebook and Sandy. Well, these are very cold because they've been in the van. Another one. As you can see, I'm sorting through my stock underneath the title there. So that means I can start sending stuff out tomorrow, which is really cool. Okay, all these to one side. So we are looking at, let's get rid of that one, the Stylistic collection and the Tapetastic 2. What a mouthful, what a mouthful it is. But you know Phil, he loves his tongue twisters. Right, so we are on Facebook and we are on YouTube. So get rid of that. On YouTube, you'll find me at Julia Watts Crafts, and on Facebook exactly the same. And you will be able to buy these new stamps from my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, from midnight tonight. Due to the restrictions with Create and Craft, there's normally a discount on the items on the show, but that doesn't come into effect till 8 PM tomorrow night. So after Phil's second show. Phil's shows are on tomorrow at 3 PM and 7 PM. And as soon as it comes off air, you'll be able to use the 10% discount code, which is yours 10 in the discount code box at checkout. So that will be my offer. So I've told you, don't buy until 8 o'clock if you want your discount. I can't say anything else, so that's just as it is. So, love to your mum, Grace. Right, okay, so the collection as it stands, I'm sure a lot of you would have seen Phil's live on Monday evening, but just in case, I'll just go through the stamps with you. In fact, you know what I'm going to do, you can see I've got the physical stamps and you can see that they are a really good size. These are A6. I'm actually going to bring up the actual these so you can, I think you can probably see the designs a little bit closer. So this is your daisy field, and so you've got a lovely silhouette, stamps, and we've got this nice sort of ochre coloured packaging with this particular collection. Phil started doing different colours on his packaging, and because it means that when you're actually sorting through your stamps, you'll be able to find things a lot easier. So that's your daisy field. Press the right button, Julia. Then we've got Tulip Garden. which Phil used on his live on Monday night. So you can see that there. Then we've got our Wild Meadow, which I'm not sure, I can't pick a favourite actually. I love all of them. So let's show you that one in its bigger form. And remember that these, just because these are A6, it doesn't mean to say that you can't kind of extend them. You can just use sections of them. I've got loads of bits and pieces cut out to show you and stamped out to show you how you can change the look of it by using different shape frames. I think I've got some cool techniques to show you as well, so hopefully you'll enjoy those and you'll be able to, if you can't stay to the end, you could be able to catch up on YouTube later on. So this is what Phil's calling his Textural Temptations 3. Now, Textual Temptations and Textual Temptations 2 were very, very, very popular, and they're great kind of filler inner stamps. They're great background stamps. And this is an A5 set, so effectively you've almost got an A7 stamp times 4 for your backgrounds. Oh no, oh poor Jean. Oh, lovely Jean. At least she knows how to watch it on Chris is saying that Jean can't get onto Facebook or YouTube. She'll be able to catch up whenever her tech is working again. So here's a bigger look at those textures. Now you can see that you've got those kind of swirling tulips, which kind of reflect with the tulip garden. It's not exactly the same, it's similar. Then you've got your daisy heads, again, not exactly the same, but you can see it's going to marry up and actually work together. And so that's going to work in your backgrounds if you like, or you can use them on your flowers. Then you've got the one that's bottom left, that kind of coordinates with your Wild Meadow. And then you've got that super splatty one, which is just absolutely brilliant for anything. I'm going to use it on some flowers. Yes, Chris is saying you'll be able to find them easy if you can remember the colour of your collection. You could always start a list, couldn't you, Christy? Start a list as to what colour they are. Or take a photograph. Right, so those are they. Those are your 4 kind of image ones, if you like. So you've got 3 A6 and an A5. And then following on from the Tapetastic collection from... I think it was 2 years ago now. It's been a while. Time flies. We've got the 2 Tapetastic's. We've got your essential sentiments. So these are your everyday sentiments. The one at the bottom says "Sorry, I forgot." That's got the banner over it. And these are with the kind of tealy colour packaging, so they reflect what the Tapetastic was. So you've got really useful sentiments in there, and personally I prefer these to the original Tapetastic because they're not solid stamps, and so they're actually easier for you to stamp. You've not got to worry because they're solid stamps. You've got to, you know, have them in your stamping platform and stamp them a couple of times to get a good solid inking. You've got that lovely blank area, which, you know, you're going to see different colour card through, which is absolutely brilliant. And they are a little bit grungy as well. I did have to look a couple of times because on your birthday and best wishes, the B's got kind of a grungy line through it, and I had to have a really good look and see whether I'd got a bit of hair in it or something. So that's your first one. So that's your essential sentiments. That's going to be very popular. That's going to go straight away, so be careful with that. And then you've got your motivational sentiments. This is actually a very cool set. Lots of useful words, just kind of uplifting really. You know, take time to relax, hugs, and you've got an and sign, so you can have what's that one at the bottom? Laugh, hug and laugh. Be true and, I'm sure you can get happy from something. Be true and choose happy, you can have. So those are the 6 stamp sets. You've got, those are DL, the the big ones, the Tapetastic 2. So so that's they, right? Okay, so do remember that on my website they'll be available midnight tonight. They'll also be on Honeypot Crafts from midnight tonight as well. But Phil's doing a different thing with his golden ticket offer. But from 8 p.m. tomorrow night, you'll be able to get 10% discount by entering yours 10 in the discount code box at checkout on my website. That's below there. I can't do it beforehand because of Create and Craft. Normally, what we do is we kind of have it on everything, but I can't kind of split it up between what's existing designs and what's new designs. So just everything that's on the show gets 10% from 8 p.m. tomorrow night. So let's crack on. Let me just have a slurp of my coffee. Right, so I've got a box of goodies here. I thought what we'd do is make a card with some scraps and some new bits, but scraps. We've all got scraps, haven't we? We've all got them, and a lot of you have benefited from my scraps before I moved, so you've ended up with loads of, I'm not going to say rubbish, loads of incomplete projects. So in my stash I found this, and I found some stitched torn rectangles. This is on pure white card, and so I thought we would use this. It's got a bit of metallic paint on it. I thought we'd use this, and we'd use these, and I've also got some layers, and we'd make a card. So look at your stash and see what you can make a card from. Slurp. I'm determined to have that. Right, so, and there's a few things we want to do first while things are drying. So what we'll do is we'll put that to one side, and we'll start on flowers first, I think. So I've taken some shabby is it? I think it's shabby blooms. Let me just check. Yeah, shabby blooms. And I've just cut them out of white card. I'm not sure how I'm going to go with my flowers, actually, because I had an idea in my head and then I backpedaled and decided to do something else. So we don't make too much of a mess. Look at that. That's a bit of copy paper. I quite like that. We'll go on that side though so we can see. So we're going to use that wonderful A7 stamp that's got the splats. I haven't got my cover sheets for these. I think they're probably in my box. But as you know, it's only just arrived, so you've seen them. You know what they look like. So just as a reminder, this is the set I'm using. Okay, Textural Temptations 3. And we're going to use this wonderful splat here to actually add some design to our flowers. Now you can make yourself a background and then die cut, but if you're using Versafine Clay, excuse me, coffee, you've got to be very, very careful that you don't, well, you've got to be very careful when you cut it, because the Versafine Clay amazingly stays wet for quite a long time, and then you'll end up with mucky dyes, and nobody likes a mucky dye. Don't wash your car, Michelle. Doesn't need washing. Morning, Di. Right, so we can do a couple of flowers at a time. Two different sizes. We can see, I can see that I can get that stamp on those two flowers. So we should just need to stamp it twice, and then we'll be jobs are good. So we're going for our Nocturne Versafine Clay. Making a racket now. Scissors. I've moved my die cutting machine because the last time I did it was rattling away. So that's on the floor. Give it a really good inking. Within an inch of its life. I've got arthritis in my hands now, so holding things is a little bit difficult. It's just this hand here, which is a bit annoying. Very annoying. Got some exercises to do. To remember to do them. Okay, so there's, look how that transforms that. Isn't that just a wonderful flower? Just with them little splats. It's such a valuable stamp, this. Of course you can do it with the others as well. But this one's cool because you've got lots and lots of little dots, whereas the others have got bigger designs to them. I'll probably do it with this one actually, with that one. And that one as well, but not so much that one. But yes, works really well. So then we're going to put these aside for them to dry before we start shape them, so that hopefully I won't smudge them too much. Make sure it goes all over the petals. Of course, you're never going to get exactly the same positioning of the dots twice, which is, you know, in nature, things are never 100% perfect unless you're at Chelsea or somewhere like that, with the RHS shows. So there we go, there's our 4 flowers, 2 different sizes from the Shabby Blooms. What does Emma say? Let the rain wash the car. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so that's that. Let's put that back so I don't lose it. It's actually a really beautiful day here today on the south coast. Although we can't see the sea from where we are. We drive past it a bit, but can't actually see it. The people that owned this house before really like birds, and he used to have an aviary at one point, and he's got loads and loads of bird feeders out the back. So I've thrown some of them away, I've replaced some of them, and I've filled them all up with bird food, and we get blue tits, and there's a robin, and we get, what else do we get? Loads of starlings. The starlings just decimate everything and flick stuff all over the place. And then we've got 2 very fat pigeons that come and hoover up wherever they've flicked, which is quite funny. Right, now let's do the sentiments next, so that, let's get that out of the way, so that we have those to dry to cut out. So again, just on pure white. To use those are moving. Use the everyday ones. And I'll stamp a couple because I don't actually know which ones are going to fit. That's not the everyday one. That's all right, Jennifer, we haven't really done very much. Birthday wishes, let's have that one. And let's have someone. And we're just doing black and white for this. Let's have another magnet there, another magnet there. Oh, they don't need to be straight, they're going to be cut out, so we don't need to worry about that. We have another slurp. Hi, Joan. Right, lots of tapping with Nocturne Burst Fun and Clear. Don't forget, make sure your ink pads are nice and juicy. When you're using the actual silhouette stamps, if you don't get a decent image, it could be that you need to replace your stamp not your stamp, your ink pad, or you might need to re-ink if you've got Nocturne. So before you give up and get really grumpy about it, you know, see to that first. It also makes a difference as to what card you're stamping on as well. I'll give you some tips when we finish about which are good things to stamp on. There we go. Perfect. So put that on one side. And I don't clean my stamps properly, never have, except if there's flitter glue on it. But you can just use a bit of warm water and a soft nail brush, and that will get your VersaFine Clear off. So if you're that fussy, you might want to do that if you want to stamp in, say, a yellow or an orange, and you've got black on your stamp, because obviously the black is going to work its way through, because adding a lighter colour to it or any other colour to it kind of regenerates what VersaFine Clear was on there. And it might not show on the first stamping, but the second time you stamp it, it will do. There's my new house. Hang on. What are we going? Should I do more Tapetastic too? Philly's saying, i.e. occasionals, etc. Yeah, I think you should. I think we need. We could have done with a Happy Easter. That would have definitely come, and Mother's Day and all that sort of thing, and relatives probably as well, I would say. And numbers, yeah. Chris is saying numbers. How's my new house? My new house, yeah, it's got a few issues, but it's mine. every time there's either something leaking, or the front door step, the wall by that started crumbling away. It's old. It's not that old, but it is old. But yeah. Right, coffee's gone. Right, so okay, let's have a look at this now. We don't want to duplicate this, so just to show you how I did this, I've got another one. So we're going to have more bits, because we can. And I'm going to grab another piece of card underneath. So we look to make ourselves a background maybe. And we want stencil brushes. I want another one. There are one or two things I'm struggling to find, which is driving me around the twist. Now, I think originally I used Secret Lagoon, Hot Pink, and gold. No, not yet. Yeah, gold. There is a vintage gold as well, but I think we use gold. I don't know. This is the one I've got out. So these are all the metallic paints from the Flawless Media range. I've just given them a shake, which will mean I'll get mucky fingers when I open them. Because sometimes when you haven't opened them for a while, you might find that they separate ever so slightly. It's a little bit runnier on the top. So you just because you haven't used them for a while. I mean, I've not used mine for a few months because obviously I've been moving house. So just give them a shake. We'll take the tops off. Oh. That one. Look at that colour. That's your hot pink. And we've got the Secret Lagoon, which is one of my absolute favourite. Anything to do with teal, I absolutely love. Pam's saying let's have a look. What we're going to do. Valentine's Day. Yeah, it does need a bit of TLC. It's getting there. I've got a man that he's very good. He did the refurb for me. It's not completely refurbished because I haven't got my kitchen done yet. And there's one or two other bits. I'm having the loft boarded soon, so we can put some stuff up there because it's a big loft. But yes, it does need a bit of TLC, but I've got a man that will do it. I've got a big craft room in my new house. I've actually got, Nathan's got the lounge for his bedroom, because it's away from the next door neighbour, because it's a semi. Although the walls are very thick, I haven't heard the next door neighbour at all yet. Then the largest bedroom is actually my craft and stock room, which is where I am now. So all of my stock and all of my craft and all my post stuff is all in this room. So I've got what I had in 3 rooms, no, 4 rooms actually, in the last house is in this room. It doesn't mean it's large, but it's very well organised. And then the second bedroom is my bedroom, which is a small bedroom, but it leads onto the conservatory, which is supposed to be my lounge, but it's too cold at the moment. So I'll just sit on my bed and watch TV. So we're going to take our stipple brushes, and we're just going to bounce through. This is your grid from the textures range of dyes from Mr. M. So we get a bit of a twofer for this, because we'll get ourselves a background, and we'll get this coloured as well. Do you know what I've forgotten to do? I've forgotten to do myself some water. So we'll do that in a second, as in water for the brushes. So this is your hot pink, so we'll add some of that on the top. And the paint looks fabulous on black card, metallic paint. Works really well. You can actually stamp with your paint as well. You can get some cut and dry, and I would actually just mist the cut and dry with a little bit of water and then add some paint, so that it's not just the thick paint. And then you can stamp with it, but do remember to clean your stamp afterwards, just in some warm water. That'll wash off, and you can use that soft nail brush like I suggested with the Versafine Clair. And if you want to, you can clean out the cut and dry foam, because once acrylic paint dries on the cut and dry foam, you can't use it again. So if you clean it out, then it will stain it, paint will stain it, but you can use it again. So you can be more frugal with it. Lots of tapping. It goes quite a long way actually, you don't need to use much. And again, it will never be the same twice. You could mask off the areas, you know, secure it with a piece of masking tape so it doesn't move if you're that bothered, but I'm not bothered. Okay, put the tops on before I knock them over. Although they are very thick paints, they don't often spill. Make sure it clicks when you put the lid on. So now we've got ourselves a background. Lovely metallic background on white. So you could, once that's dry, you could actually stamp your stylistic stamps on top of there if you wanted to, but it is actually quite hard to get ink to dry on top of paint. So I can give you some tips about that as well. So there's our grid to work with as well. So that's put that to one side. Sort myself out some water. I'll give you those to look at 1 second. At least I don't have to go upstairs, downstairs, all the way around the houses. Everything's on the same level. Have I ever sold the distress paints? I have had distress paints years ago. I don't bother getting them in because I don't think I'll sell many, to be honest. I have used them in the past. I think I've got a pink raspberry one. They do cover really well, actually. I think they've changed the not sure, I don't think it has a dauber on the top now. You could always also cut your flowers out of it. Yes, Pam, the new distress is going to be announced on Tim Holtz's YouTube channel on Saturday at 5 PM. And as soon as he's announced the colour, then I'll change all my things so it tells you what colour it is. But anybody that's pre-ordered will get priority. So all I did with this, so this one has got a bit more black showing as well. So I've got left gaps. I haven't left gaps with this. And as soon as you tear it, obviously where you've torn from, you're going to have a black line. So that's just been torn there. So we're going to use that. Then we've got our stitch torn. So what I thought I would do is we'll stamp one of the stylistic stamps in this bit here. And that frame will sit over the top of it like that. And then, I'm not sure if we're going to do anything behind. I'm faffing here, thinking about what we do. We do need to do a background as well. So there's a bit that we need to do. So I'm going to go into the stamping platform, but because it's such a small area that we're stamping onto, we're not going to be able to magnetise it as such. So we will do that trick that Phil does. Right, let's get a piece of kitchen roll so I don't tear my lovely useful grid background, which I'll need to get some more of. Right. Oh, get off. My glue's a bit... it's a bit of a mess because I will not start a new one until I've actually used this one. So it's got plenty in. And I don't like to waste it. Okay. That's all right, Janice, don't worry. Right, so let's go for one of the ones. I'm going to have to move these new stamps to one side because I'm going to end up opening one of those, and they're not mine. They are mine, but they're for sale. They're not the user ones. Let's take... Where's that? No, not that one. Oh, that one. Let's take this one, which is our wildflower garden. I think Mr. M probably has got shares in kitchen roll. I'm surprised that he hasn't bought a kitchen roll out with his face all over it. So let's have it about there, I think. We will lose a little bit of it, so I'm going to bring it in a little bit because the frame is going to be on the top like that. Okay, pick that up. And we're going to do it in black because we've got black matte and whatever. We're going to do it in black. Tap, 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 tap. And you will find, actually, it's probably worth you doing this on a scrap piece of card first of all, or a scrap piece of paper, because you'll have sweet spots. Probably where you don't tend to do the pressure so much, and then you'll know where to press more, if that makes sense. Let the ink sink in, and it's come on. So it's a little bit grungy. I might want it a bit darker, just in the middle. And then I'll regret it if I do all of it. Let's hope it hasn't moved. That's where I want to pay attention, in the middle bit. Okay, cool. Fantabulous. Right. That looks lovely, doesn't it? Kathleen saying we would never be able to stamp over Mr. M's lovely visage. So you wouldn't want a dartboard with his face on then. They are fabulous, aren't they? Absolutely fabulous stamps. He's probably having palpitations thinking, why is she putting that dirty stamp away? Right. So we've got our main focal point now. Right, I have to put these away because otherwise, because I haven't got my packaging on there, it's going to be going to drive me around the twist when I'm trying to find them. Right, let's just have a think. This is a work in progress. So it's going to have, that's going to go on there, like so. Look at that. That'd be a really nice set of pictures to have up, actually. Just little pictures across your wall. Have I got a kitchen roll with my face on it? No, I haven't. Why would I want that? Right, so we're going to have, no, we're not going to have about that. We're going to have that on there like so. So that's poking out. Then we're going to have this down here like that. And then that's going to go on there like that. So do you know what? Might not actually stamp around the edges, and that's going to go on there like so. We are going to do some stamping in the background. I'm going to leave 2 white frames. I'm not going to stamp on the frames. So Phil's saying, a little tip for you all too, if you have any of the A6 Notebook Botanicals, these new ones look gorgeous stamped over the top in a darker tone. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So we are going to do some stamping on the background, just so we've got a bit, it's not so white. I mean, you could just leave it like that. That would be lovely. So you could, here's an idea. Grab the layers. I am going to stamp in the background, so don't worry. So if we take our sentiments that we've got, scissors, and cut them out. Now I tend to cut them out just with a little border. Because my scissor skills aren't brilliant, the little border ends up being a different size little border all the way around. But it is a little border. You're meant to look where you're going, not where you are, when you cut a big length. Okay, that's that. It's easier with a bigger pair of scissors. Right, I'll have that one for someone special. So we could have for someone special down there like that. And then we could bring in flowers. I've got one that's already done. So we could just bring in a flower or 2. And some leaves. Oh, there's leaves. These are shabby blossoms. So we could have, we'd have another flower up there. So we could just have something like that, so very, very plain. fact, I'm looking at that thinking I do want to stamp around the edge of that. So we're going to do that. We are going to stamp around the edge of this or something. So it's always good to have a plan and then deviate. So let's see. I did pull out. Where are they? There they are. I did pull out some of my notebook botanicals. So we've got splats in here, and we've got little circles. We've got all sorts of things around here, actually. I want to have some of these in the background. So perhaps we'll have some of these around the edges here. Okay, let's go for some circles, perhaps. I'm going on the stamping platform so that it's got that cushion. We've got a couple of circles there. I'm thinking about being symmetrical here. Don't know why, but I just am. Flower's going to go there. So we know we don't need anything on that corner. Where was that bit of... And let's bring in, we've got another, shall we bring in the other circle? No, we bring in this one, which is kind of like grommets. I hope you've got drinks and supplies, because we could be going on for several hours here. Making a mess. Okay. Then I'll bring in just one more. Has Phil said who he's on with tomorrow? Oh, you're on with Janice at 3. Okay. How's Ed? I'll show you Ed. There he is. He's actually there right now. That's a picture that's taken earlier, but that's where he is most of the day, underneath my desk, snoring gently. This little pod was something that my daughter Catherine bought for a cat that they adopted in February. They didn't end up keeping her because she had one or two issues really. She was from a house where a lady had terminal cancer. I think she's still alive, but it became a little bit much for her to look after her. And I think the cat do pick up on things, and the cat, first of all, was very attached to her owner, and also wasn't used to being around men. So when she moved in with my daughter and her fiance, she was okay to begin with, but then Catherine had to go away for work, and she was quite vicious towards Tom. So they decided that perhaps she ought to go back to the charity and find an owner that was a lady on her own. So she went back, and anyway, this pod was for Nancy, which is the name of the cat. So I think that's what we're going to do there. I think that's going to be our frame. Oh, I've gone and stamped and haven't shown you. I always do that. Why do I always do that? Catherine at 7. Oh, I don't think Catherine's going to be there much longer, is she? She's taking over a shop, I think. Yeah, Catherine spells her name like my Catherine, Kathryn. It's the old-fashioned way. It's a cool way. Right, so that's our Notebook Botanicals Notebook Textures. So that's going to go on our frame. Happy with that. And while we're in here, we're going to do our background. So this one's going to have a little bit of attention to it. But I'm staying in the platforms because I've got that cushion. And my magnets are wanting to jump on each other. Get off. Don't need magnets. Right, so for this one, we're going to use we might use some of the textures, but we're going to use the Postmark Paraphernalia. Oh, it's April, is it? Gosh, that's quite a long time, isn't it? It'd be good for her not to have to do all the travelling up and down all the time. That must be so exhausting. Let's use this one. So I'm using the one that's like this, I don't know what, it's not a compass, but that one. I really like that one. It's my favourite. I do like splats as well. Where are we at? Where's my nocturne? I'll put it down somewhere. There it is. Catherine's, she's got a shop, Catherine's story. She's got taking over a shop. There's some people retiring and she's taking it over. She's had a shop before. So let's have one of these going off of the page up here. And I'm going to do a similar thing. I'm going to build it up symmetrical in opposite corners. It's such a cool stamp. Protractor. Thank you, Kathleen. Protractor, that's what it is. I can't remember most words now. I can't remember words when Nathan speaks to me. Since we've moved, we bought this game called Exploding Kittens. That's what it's called. And it's a card game. And we bought 3 expansion packs to go with it, so we got 4 packs so far, and there's like streaking kittens and barking kittens and imploding kittens, and they do all sorts of things, and I struggle to remember the rules. I have to ask Nathan all the time. And then I do something silly that makes me lose, but every day we play. Okay, so there's top and bottom protractor. Okay. What do I need now? Let's move that out of the way. Move out of space. Right. doing? Oh, nearly an hour. Wonder what sort of workshop she's going to do. She's bound to do stuff with clay at some point, isn't she? I love her crochet kits. Talking about Catherine again. Catherine Stewart, not my Catherine. I've got 2 of her crochet kits. I've started one, but I haven't finished it. And then another one I've done nothing with whatsoever. So we could actually, let's not go symmetrical. We could, I do like this finger pointing. So let's have one of those up there. It could be that a lot of this is going to get covered up. Because you know what we like. But you know, even if it gets covered up, you've seen what you could do. So let's have the protractor going, the pointy finger going at the protractor here. I like the pointy finger. And they're very easy images to cut out as well. And you've got loads of tickets on here, loads of postmarks. Love this one. Let's have a look. Let's have... Oh, I like the pen as well. Let's have the pen down this bottom end here. Fountain pen. This is the sort of thing that you can take ages doing. Absolutely ages. When I said I might have 2 projects, I have, but one is virtually done already. So now we've got a pen going down the bottom. Let's just bring in our other bits, just to see where we're at, see how much more I want to do. We'll have, see, I told you it'd get covered up properly. It's behind there. Oh dear. You can see the bottom of the pen though. It's fine, it's fine. Right, then we're going to have, this is going behind that. This is going to go down here, hanging off the bottom a little bit. And then that's going to go on there like that. Looking good. So you don't see much of the protractor bits, but that's fine. And then we're going to have someone special can come in there. And we're going to have flowers there. So I think we just need something just around the edges. So it's probably going to be that splat, the new one, because I can go quicker with the new stamps than I can with the small ones. Ooh, put the pen back. Susan is asking on Facebook, Phil or Karen, whether we ship to the US. I don't ship to the US because I don't ship outside of the UK at all. But I know that Honeypot Crafts, which is Phil's website, does. So you just need to, you can message either the Honeypot Crafts Facebook page, or you can message the Crafting with Phil Martin and Sentimentally Yours group, and you can ask them what they normally do, I believe, is they'll put your order together and then they'll phone you and tell you what the postage is going to cost you. And I'm sure one of them will jump on here and tell me if I told you a load of rubbish. Hopefully I haven't. So So what we're going to do is we're going to stamp this one up here first. So we don't need much. Okay, and then I am going to just do a little bit just here. Right, so it doesn't matter if you overlap it at all, because of the grunginess of this stamp, it lets you get away with quite a lot of things actually. So I have this one down here. Cool. It's such a shame that I had that so low. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Get over it, Julie. Next time it will be perfect. And let's have a little bit just down the bottom with the pen. Just about there. That's going to annoy me that there isn't any below the pen. So let's just see what we can do. There we go. There's our background. All done. Such a useful stamp, this. Okay, so we just need to now, I want to matte and layer the sentiment. Nearly there. And we're going to make the flowers. Now on my flowers, I want to add a little bit of colour. So we're going to add some to the stamens, and the stamens I've used are from the Sensational Stamens 2. There aren't any flowers on the show, but you'll find the flowers and the stamens on both mine and Phil's website. Let's have a look in my little... So we want some black card, and we want some stamens. I've chosen the ones that have got kind of like a spoon. I've already done some. Put my fingers in that. 1, 2, 3. There should be another one. There we go. There's another one. Let's matte and layer this first so the glue can be setting while I do the paint bits. Hi Hazel. Yes, Susan, of course we would prefer you to buy from either myself or Phil rather than Create and Craft as well. But shh, don't tell him I said that. As a small business, and I'm sure Phil's business is bigger than my small business, but as a small business, we tend to do little happy dances as soon as we get orders in. And I'm sure the big businesses don't do that. It's wonderful to get orders in. Okay, so we're going to leave that. You can see how bad my cutting out is now. Oh well. Right, so let's deal with these spoons on the stamens. Sensational Stamens 1. And we're going to use the hot pink. And I need a brush. These brushes are from Indigo Blue, so you'll find these on the Indigo Blue website. There's a whole set of, there's a splatter brush, there's round brushes, there's the shader brushes, there's all sorts of brushes. And they're very, very good brushes. So we're going to use the hot pink. Oh, Jean's on. Hey! Hi, Jean. Right, so let's just I'm just going to try and touch the spoon bits, I don't know what they're called, the ends of the stamens with the paint. Let it dry this beautiful metallic colour. Obviously this is one of the colours that is on the background as well, so that will reflect that. I'm going in a bit further than I wanted, but I'm trying to do it quick. That's 1, 2. It does dry very quickly. So this is metallic paint. The chalky paints are on the show as well, so you can stock up on those if you need to. I am wasting a bit here going on the paper, because what you could do is if you do it on your craft sheet, then you can mist with a bit of water after you've done all this business, and then pick up the excess onto a piece of card and then stamp on top of that. So you don't have to waste any of it. Okay, there's my 4 stamens. Nice little click. And I've still got a bit to tidy up. Why didn't I just do it all on one? I don't know, Julie. Why didn't you? Mad woman, that's what I am. Okie dokie. Right, that's that. We want our flowers. So the ones we just stamped. There's some others as well. Okay, so we take in the pointy tweezers. Right, Chrissy couldn't get, she's on YouTube, she couldn't get onto Facebook. It's really weird actually, Chrissy, because your comment about Jean apologising has just come up again. Which is really weird, because she's on now, isn't she? It is very weird, I'm seeing comments again. Anyway, so tweezers, pointy tweezers, set of 3. You got the pointy ones, you've got flat end ones, and we got curved end ones. These are my favourite for making flowers. So we can just take our tweezers and you can either fold downwards or upwards. I'm going upwards, this hurts my hand. And or you can shape them so that they're kind of rolled around like that, but we're doing the tweezer job. Yes, loads of Chrissy's comments are coming up again. This is so weird. It's probably a fault with YouTube. Okay, so that's that one. So just to recap for those people that were late, this is the Shabby Blooms, and I've stamped over the top, it's pure white card from Sentimentally Yours. I've stamped over the top with that lovely splat stamp from this Textural Temptations 3 set. So it's the one top right on there. And I've stamped with Nocturne Versifying Clay, and that this has been drying. It might not be 100% dry, but this has been drying while we've been doing all the other stuff. And the Shabby Blooms gives you, you've got a lovely kind of deboss lines on the flowers. But because this is such a random stamp, you don't notice if it misses bits because of the deboss lines, which is good. The sunshine's gone in. Turn my glue upside down. I can't leave it standing upside down because it leaks in the cap when I do that. Right, there we go. There's our flowers, and we've got our stamens. Let's take a moulding mat. Oh, don't want all those to fall. And there we go. Migrating over a bit. So I'm just going to use a ball tool just to send the flowers up a bit. So I'm going to pair these up, I think. I'm not 100% sure where whether I'm going to stick these together or not, as in one flower, or leave them separate. I haven't decided. I've also got this one as well. That's what I was going to do. Right, got this one as well. So let's stick these two together and we'll have those two just as a single pair. Jean, if you've got no, oh, you won't know, no. Somebody type that if Jean's not got any sound, you have to click on the, you have to actually click, is she on Facebook? Yeah, she's on Facebook. She has to click on the bottom of the screen of the live, and that gives you the facility to unmute it. I think that's what she does. Right, so we're going to just offset these slightly. Now they're not, anybody that doesn't know, these aren't symmetrical flowers. So when you offset them, you won't necessarily get them to sit 100% properly, which kind of irritates me a little bit, but I totally understand that that's reflects nature and makes them shabbier. So those are going together like that. So we give those a second, and we'll put these two together as well. A little bit. Come on, I want you to move a little bit. Oh, my hand. Right, push, and it moves again. Okay. And then for the stamens, I want to add these two together first of all. So the two large flowers are going to sit together. So we'll offset that one slightly, just to make a fuller flower. Press down. When you use wet glue, then your flower kind of tends to keep the shape a bit more. Then we're going to just do circular motions on the stamens. That's a small one, isn't it? Yeah. And then we're going to put, I'm covered in glue. Might end up having to get another one out. I don't want to. Then we're going to put a small stamen in the centre of the bigger stamen. And in fact, that's the smallest stamen in the trio, and that's the medium one. So I haven't actually used the big stamen. And in the set you get 5 different stamens and then 3 sizes of each stamen, of each design. Trying to offset them so that the little spokes sit in between the big spokes. And turn around a bit. Come here. Oh, you're bugging me. You're not sitting where I want you to sit, are you? Right, that'll do. And then we'll give him a poke. And he's moved back again. Rebel. And oh, I've got another one here. thought I'm short of a stamen, but I'm all right. Got another pair. Yes, I can see 22 Terrick. Whoever 22 Terrick is, I can absolutely see, yes. I don't always get a chance to look across and see all the comments, because otherwise we'll be here forever. I'll probably be here forever anyway, because the amount of stuff I want to show you. I hope that's all right. Not being here to get heather, but you know, showing you quite a lot of stuff. Now I've got a little tiny flower here. That's the same size as that one. So we're going to have a stamen in each one of these, and then I've got my flower that I've already done. So we've got 4 flowers. I know it's an even number, and I might not use them all, but I might. I like going against what you're supposed to do. That one's going in the centre of that one. And then, so that little bit of pink on the edge of the petals. I quite like black and pink together, actually. It's going in there. Then, because we've got, remember we've got gold and we've got the blue. I thought we'd use these pearls here, actually. I did pick out also the sea glass gems, but when you put the sea glass gems in, my wrist hurts. Right, so let's just pick up this and show you. This is one of the pickup tools. I want one of the small ones. So if I just put one of these in here. No, I don't want that size. I actually want that size, I think. So it looks very pretty, but because the black reflects off of the gem, you can't actually see it. I don't think you can see it that well. So I'm not sure what these are called. These are shimmer pearls, but I don't know what the colour is, Phil, if you're watching. It's like a teal colour, but I don't know if it's as dark as the teal. I don't know what colour it's called, because I haven't got a label on these. So maybe you can tell you what they are. So, but if you put this one in, I'll move. If you put that in, then you see the blue better than in the gem. See? So I think we're going to go for the pearl rather than the gem, because you can see it. Teal shimmer, is that what it's called, June? Thank you. Right, so I think that's what we're going to do. Both will work, both the sea glass gemporium, isn't it? It's crystal gemporium sea glass. Right, so let's put some of these in. Glue. I expect you've got them, have you, June? The teal shimmer. I didn't have that colour that Phil used the other night, though. I'm sure I haven't got that. Just saying. I have got a lot of pearls. I do like them. Right. In fact, I think on the smaller one we might go for the 5mm rather than the... Right, that's it. Sorry, we're going for a new glue. Or another glue. What is a new glue? Sound of me opening a new glue. So we'll be fine in a minute. See, that question from Phil's come up again on Facebook. That's weird. Do I want that little one? I like the big ones. I do like the big one, big pearls. I'm going to give it a press. And hopefully it'll stay in. That's the problem with using a big pearl in this size stone. They are pretty though. Teal Shimmer, June says they're called. So have a look on Honeypot Crafts and you'll be able to find them. He's never let me have the pearls because Phil's poor mum, Julia, my namesake, she does all the pearls. At least she used to. I don't know if she still does. Okay, so there's all our flowers all ready. Really pretty. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're doing pearls. Right. So I think we're ready to construct. Woohoo! Oh, we've got to just cut our sentiment out and then we'll be completely ready. Let's put the flowers to one side. Where's my scissors? There they are. Ugh. Nearly as long as Phil's lives. Done quite a bit though. I still do want to show you the other stuff. Can't see with black. Okay, straightish. Right, my lovely background. Obviously, if you want to bring some more colour in, what you could do is you could put a little bit of paint on some cut and dry foam and go around the edge if you wanted to. I do quite like just the black and the white, so I think that's what we're going to just stay at. Egyptian blue shimmer. I'm sure I haven't got them. I'll have to have a look through. I do have a significant amount of pearls. Because there was one called Nautical Blue, but those are normal pearls. I know I've got those. I need my tweezers before I lose them. You don't need much glue. Stand up so I can see that it's straight. Okay. Doesn't me. Then we'll do a layer of foam. It'll take me hours to tidy up after this. Hours. Let's go for 2. So I've got 2mm foam here. Where's my other scissors? I know I've got them. Don't use those scissors. Lots of dregs of foam tape in here. Remember to put some in the middle because nobody wants a saggy middle. Yeah, but I'm retired, Jennifer. Jennifer's saying she really misses me on TV, but you know, I've retired from TV. It's too far to go to Peterborough from here. I'm not doing it. Simple as that. It's not happening. Right, so this is going on here, like so. Then we want some foam tape on our frame. And normally I would do, if Phil's on at 3 and 7, I'd do my live on Friday, but I've got an engineer coming tomorrow, which is why we're having to do it today. So I'm relying on you to all remember to purchase from us tomorrow. So let's put the frame around our beautiful image, which is our wild garden from the new Stylistic collection. Have it quite far up so we've got most of that one on, like so. Looks cool with that frame around it, doesn't it? And then we want one of these at the back, covering up my hands, but you know, the hands could be behind bars, as it were. Move that out way a minute. And let's just do a scribble. So a lot of this will be anchored by the frame. I want it to be straightish, so. And then we're going to put, let's get rid of that a second. Obviously, if you've got the fine tip glue applicators, you can just use one of those on there. I have got one of those somewhere actually. Yeah, I'm not Skyping. Not doing. Honestly, Jennifer, I have had not very much time since I've moved down here. I'm barely getting my head in the game to do the work I've got to do. So, you know, it's just not happening. I'm sorry. I'm also trying to get onto the waiting list down here to have my knee replacement because I've got to start all over again. And I've got an appointment in the hospital, but I've got to wait till July to go to the hospital, which will then put me on the list. So, and there's always something that's coming up that we've got to do on the house that needs sorting out, and people coming to work on the house, and it's just not, Skype is not happening at all. Pam, I totally agree. We can do more demonstration for you in these lives. And do you remember we did the special launch that was just retailer only? We did a weekend, Phil and I, of demos, and we did that for you last year, and I absolutely loved doing that. I'd like us to do that again if possible. It's more interactive. We can spend longer showing you things. We can show you more things. There are no interruptions except for when we interrupt ourselves. You know, it's a lot better. And of course then we have the money rather than Create and Craft. Talking of which, I'm going to give a shout out to Kay and Indigo Blue, because tomorrow they are actually launching some new stamps, stencils And there's something else they're launching as well tomorrow, which I can't remember. But they're launching new products tomorrow on their Indigo Blue Tube, as it's called, which is their channel on YouTube, and also on their Indigo Blue Facebook page. And that's at, I think it's at 11 and 1 tomorrow. So you can give them a bit of support and tune in and have a look, see what they've got. And what they've got is not on TV. It is one of their launches. That's all right, David, don't worry. Oh, I bet that's an old message, isn't it, that I'm just seeing, and you've been there for a while, because I'm sure I've seen some of your comments, David. So this is now going on here. Is that straight? It's hard to tell with stitch tool. Like that. So it's really building up now. And then we're going to have our sentiment down here, I think. What did I do with that? I'm going to do the sentiment in a minute, actually. I'm going to put the flowers on first, I think. So we've got the one big flower, which I think is going to go down here, like that. And then we've got the 3 other flowers, which are going to go up here with the leaves. And the leaves, I've used the shabby leaves, which go with the shabby blossoms, because they've got that shabby edge to them. So I'm just going to give them a little bit of a bend. Let's put the flowers on first. Just using Sentimentally Yours glue, which is what I prefer. I don't like pin flare. Not for this anyway. It's very good for repairing dishwasher doors. Let's hang it right way off the edge of the frame there, I think. And then, oh, see my pearls come out. I'll put that in a minute, because it's shaped. To warm that up. Oh, stuck to me. Pop leaves in there. I'm just putting them in lightly for now. Give them a good old press in a minute. And then we'll bring in our smaller flowers. Just on the edge. Oh, that pearl doesn't want to stay in, does it? Cheeky little pearl. And put our other flower just up there. Come on. I've got glue on my fingers. I keep grabbing the pearls. Let's just check that those leaves are going to stick. Okay, then we're going to have our sentiment. See, I know I've got that's higher than that. So what we could do is, rather than bring that down with the tape, because if I put that there, that's going to bring it down with the tape, I can just have it just above like that. Let's see how that's looking. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So obviously it's still drying. We could bring in some extra pearls just to finish it off, perhaps in this corner here. And then we could bring 3 down here. Lid. Just to the small ones. The glue dries clear and matte, so it doesn't matter if there's any seepage. Come here. So, and there, I think we're done. Do you like it? So I was just reading the comments. So I'll just hold it up so it's a bit closer to you. So you've got your wild meadow in the centre from the Stylistic, so that's from the A6. Then you've got your Notebook Botanicals textures around the frame there. We've got some Notebook Botanicals paraphernalia all around the edge as well, and we've got that fantastic A7 stamp within the A5 set on the flowers and around the edges as well, and a little bit of paint and the grid. And we've also got your Tapetastic 2 essential sentiments on the bottom. So that's that. So we'll be oh, the comments are going balmy on here. It's a little bit weird, as in weird rather than good. Right, so that's that, but there's some other things I'd like to show you as well, if that's okay, because we're at over an hour and a half, and we might be going for at least another half an hour, but hopefully that's okay. I can't really tell. I hope it is okay, and we've still got people watching. So what I've got down here in my pile of stuff is I have a Ranger melting pot. These comments are getting on my nerves because they're not. Oh, that's better. It's all reset itself. Right, so it looks like we're okay to keep going. Okay, right. So this is a Ranger melting pot, and I've had it for years. They discontinued it, so you can't get them anymore unless you can find them on somewhere like eBay or somewhere like that. It is for melting things like beeswax, and you can melt your ultra thick embossing enamel on it as well, which is what we're going to do. It does have a UT setting here. Let's see, UT setting just right at the edge, which is where I've turned it up to. And it has a pan in here, and you used to be able to get extra pans as well, and this warms up. And what we're going to do is we're going to pop some things in it, some stuff in it, and we're going to leave it to melt, and then we're going to make an embellishment with it. So this is a pie dish, This is actually a wow one, but you can actually use, you know, in fact, let's just get a little one out. A big one, do I? Show you what you've got at home. If you like your mince pies and your apple pies, you're going to have these at home. So just a little one. It's hot already. Make yourself a little funnel. And this is Cosmic Shimmer Ultra Thick Embossing Crystals. It's the clear. It's a big tub. This is a 500ml tub, but I have got the 200ml tubs on my website, so you can actually get those. So we're going to pop some in this pan here. In fact, I'm going to change this over again. Sorry. It's just that I know it's going to take a while. So if I use a bigger one, then the powder is distributed over a bigger area, so it will melt quicker. Whereas it'll take forever in that small one. Now, if you haven't got, let's just get this in here while I'm talking. Good amount. If you haven't got, put the lid on. If you haven't got a melt pot, which most of you won't have unless you're like me and you've got the one from years ago, then what you can do is you can get yourself your pie dish, and you can get some pliers of some sort, and you can hold it, put your embossing crystals in there, and then hold it very, very firmly, and you can heat from underneath with your heat tool. It takes a while, but that's the way you can actually melt UT. And you'll have seen it done loads and loads and loads of times, but this is just easier. And as I've got it, I might as well use it. So I'm just going to put that to one side. It's on and it's working. And we're going to grab the project that we're going to finish off. So what I've got here is I have, this is Secret Lagoon card, and I've stamped the Tulip Garden with Versamark, and then I've embossed with the Sentimentally Yours Pure Gold Superfine embossing powder. And just to show you that you can put different frames around, we're going to put a circle frame around it. Okay. And I've got Just For You and Time to Relax from the occasion, the motivational Tapetastic 2. Let me show you. So they've been again stamped and embossed, stamped with Versamark and embossed with the gold. And there's the Just For You. Okay. And I'll bring this up as well so you can see it properly. And I did actually heat from underneath. Although I'm a top girl, I did actually heat from underneath. So we're going to add this frame to this. While that's melting, I'll keep an eye on that. It'll be a while. It'll probably be about 10 minutes for that to melt. What was I doing with my... In that box. It's in that box. Right, can't reach it. So we're going to go with regular tape, not my bendy tape, not my mounting cushion. So I'll put bits around here because it doesn't bend. Can you? Yes, you can use UT in moulds, absolutely. You can use it, the silicone moulds are the better ones, obviously, because then you can manipulate them in order to get it out. It's going to take me ages. I've actually got moulds that I made with using, do you remember, I don't know if you remember the product called Mould and Pour that Ranger had out. I've got some moulds and I've made some buttons using those. But yes, nowadays that's what we tend to do with UT, but I'm going to show you how to do something else with it. I'm not going to use it in a mould. I've had a play actually, because I thought as soon as I saw the new Stylistic stamps, I thought, oh, I wonder if we could do some beauty embellishments with it, and some of them have been more successful than others, but hopefully you'll get some ideas. That's what I want to do in this kind of second session of the demo, is give you lots and lots of ideas, because when you've got stamps like these new Stylistic A6 backgrounds, and in fact the A5 set of 4 A7 backgrounds, there's so much you can do. And in fact you can also use your notebook botanicals as well, with the same sort of techniques. Any more questions? Some of them are coming up and some of them aren't. This is getting on my nerves, because I'm looking at it from the Switcher Studio as opposed to looking on Facebook and YouTube, because then I can just look at one place, hopefully. So obviously we're going just white with this, so the colours are white, teal and gold. We're nearly there. This is the stitched torn circles that I've made my frame out of. So you can actually choose exactly where you want this. So you could have it just down below if you wanted. I actually would quite like the tulips, the tops of the tulips. And something, I don't know if you've noticed, there's something here, these kind of lines here with the little dots either side, those are common across all three of the A6 backgrounds. So if you wanted to do something like a triptych, I think Alison's done a triptych, or David, then that's all going to match and look fabulous. So now I'm going to just undercut around the edge to transform this A6 rectangular stamp into a circular design. Be careful you don't cut into your frame. And then we'll decorate the background and put this together. So I've got this is a proper card. This is one of the card blanks from the compendium box kit. So it was A5 and I cut it down a little bit. And we're gonna pop that. Oh, didn't do that bit. Onto there, like that. And then we're gonna have a sentiment below. I've got a dirty mark there. It's off my fingers. Check on the UT. Oh, the UT's melted. Right, so we'll just move over to that next. Because you don't want to over melt. Right, so I've got a little bit of prep to do. So here's, had an A6 block. Sorry, A6 block, that's not quite big enough. It's my Sentimentally Yours A6 block. There it is. So, oh, I don't want, what am I on about? I don't want that. It melted quicker than I expected. Either that or I've been talking longer. We're going to grab this tulip kind of design, tulip background from the A5 Textural Temptations 3. And we're going to pop this on here like that. And I'm going to prime it with Versamark. So if you want to actually use stamps for beauty, they used to say that you could only ever use rubber stamps with it, but you can absolutely use the photopolymer stamps that you get from Sentimentally Yours, because they're top quality photopolymer stamps, so it's perfectly safe to use them, don't worry. Some of the black might come off, it'll be fine. So you do need to prime them though, don't just go straight into the UT with a non-primed stamp, because it's just easier to get them off and it's safer for the stamp if you prime them. So just going over with Versamark. Okay. what we're also going to do is you could leave it just as it is, clear, but that's a bit boring. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our cornflower petal we're going to use, and we want a little woodware embossing tool. Yeah. So we're going to have a little bit of cornflower petal, but let's have a bit more. Don't dip this into the UT because it's not heat proof. You want a silicone type tool. I still have a couple of my tools that I had when I had the melt pot. So you want to mix it up, and you want to make sure that all the lumps have gone, because it's obviously a powder. You can't mix your metallic paint in here, that's not going to work. So it's going to go from clear to now it's going to be opaque. Because the powders are opaque, you're going to take the colour, but it's going to have that lovely pearlescence from your radiant mustard pigment powder. And we've got kind of swirly bits going on, which is quite nice. Now you can change it up a little bit if you want to. So we could add, all this here will remelt. It'll go hard, and you can pick it off and it will remelt. We could have a little tiny bit of this sea foam as well, just to make it a more of a, I mean, you can definitely use the teal colour that we've got in the range, which I cannot remember the name of, but these are what I've got on my desk. A tiny bit of sea foam. Oh, don't do that, Julia. That was only a quick dip. It's all right, it survived. Use the proper tool. And sea foam's got a bit of gold in it as well. So you want to make sure, like I say, you get rid of all the lumps, but you can still leave it quite swirly if you want to. Okay. That bit there that I've just plopped out, that's going to set, and you can pop it back in again. Pick it up and pop it back in again, and that'll melt again. Right. Working in a very small area. Let's pop that back in again. See, all this picks off, and you can pop it back in again. But I won't keep doing that because we'll have to wait for it to go. I'm just going to add, because it's been a little while I've been doing that, I'm just going to add a little bit more Versamark to the stamp just to make sure. I don't think it'd be hot enough just heating over a hot water bowl. That's not going to work. It's embossing powder. You need to be ultra thick. Don't use your super fine because you just waste your money, because you'll need a lot of super fine embossing powder to mix it up. But you could mix a bit of your coloured powders with it if you wanted to. Right, so now we're going to use our tool to pick it up, and we're going to do a bit of a swirl like so. It does start to set down really quickly. That's one side. Now we're going to stamp into it. Like so. Leave it. Started to set already. Right, these comments are playing up. Right, so just to show you, you can, I haven't got any proper moulds now. I've sold most of my moulds. These are some moulds made using the mould and pour, and it used to be a product where you had 2 parts and you kind of grab a lump of from each part, same size. You'd mould them together like clay, and let's put the lid on that for a second. And you would then pop it down, and then you press like a button into it. This is a button, wherever my button's gone. Here's my button. So this is a mould made of that button. So we can just pour into there, and then I'll turn it off. You can keep this. I tend to keep my my powder in a mould, in a pie dish like this, and then I just reheat the same colours. Oh, to do that. If they're all wonky, it's fine. You can either just cut the ends off, because that's going to be a bit wonky. Or if you don't like it, you can just pop it back in and remelt it. So it's very, very forgiving. What isn't a good idea though is because you can actually prime your stamp with a black ink if you wanted to, but it's not a good idea to remelt that, because you get bits, especially if you use Versabite Claire. This is a one that I've used with the splat, and that makes quite a cool embellishment as on there. That's nearly dry. This will be nearly gone. Not quite. It has a kind of a tap 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 feel to it if you want to, if you tap it. This one, that's just clear on its own, and I've pressed the is it that one? No, actually, I've pressed the A6 stamp into there. That's the Daisy one, I think, and it's all weird and wonderful. And what I thought about that was I could paint it, and that's a bit of a challenge. This one is the same thing, but obviously a different shape, because they never come out the same. And you can't just paint with acrylic paint over the top, because effectively it's melted plastic. But if you put a layer of gesso on and let that dry, then you can paint over the top. So this has had on it, it's had the chalky paint, it's had the Perfectly Pumpkin on it, and then I've dry brushed over the top with some of the gold metallic paint, and there is actually a little bit of the copper metallic paint over the top. So, you know, as an accent, it makes quite a cool embellishment. And then the buttons, I should pop this out now. It's a little bit of a funny shape, so I'll remelt that. So the buttons, if you do it properly, here's a button. And it kind of just all, you know, matches. So I can remelt that and use that again. Let's have a look at this one and see how this one is. So the easiest way to get, you can see where I've gone over the edge. Don't look at the back because it's all weird. The easiest way to get, obviously with your rubber stamps you can just bend them, can't you? The easiest way to get them off here is to actually take your stamp off. And as you're taking your stamp off, then it will come off carefully. Really easily. Obviously you want to make sure it's all dry. It's cool, isn't it? That's a bit warm, that's fine. It isn't damaged at all. But because I've used Versamark, what I can do is I've got, this is the New Gold, from your Radiant Lossy Pigment powders, because I've used Versamark, and if you use Versafine Clair as well, I can then dust this gold into the design. Great for your mixed media projects. There's quite a lot on there actually, that's quite wasteful. It's cool, isn't it? Really cool. Okay, so that's going to be an embellishment. We might not use that one, we might use the other one I've got because it's slightly smaller. Obviously I made my project around it. But don't look, I'm going to have to clear this up. That's such a waste. What you could do is actually pick it up onto, let's not waste it, because that would make some nice stamens. Pale, it's quite pale because there's a lot of water. In fact, you could actually just stamp over the top of this, which would be quite nice. Very pale. Girl's thinking, why on earth have you done that? There's gold. Okay, put that to one side. There. Clean up. Right, so let's finish this card off now. Still a bit dirty. I like watching YouTube on the telly as well. I watched Phil's YouTube on the telly the other night. Right, so let's just do ourselves a quick background with this as well. So let's think about what we might want to put in the background on this. And we're going to use a different colour of the Versafine Clairs. We're going to use Warm Breeze when I find it. The blues, there it is. The Warm Breeze coordinates really nicely. Don't want to use that stamp again because let's go to my favourite again. Although it might be funny colours because I'm doing it in blue, but that's alright. This will give us a really quick background, and then we can just go on to focusing on all the other techniques. There's more, there is a lot more. So we can have shades of teal here. Lots of splats. So this is from the textile. What's it called? Textile Temptations 3. I could have just done it 4 times, couldn't I? Whatever. It's in this way. I should have just done 1, 2, 3, 4. Just to recap, this is Warm Breeze. There's Fine Clair, which is just the perfect colour to go with the Secret Lagoon card from our fill. Okay, dirty stamp, doesn't matter. So we're just going to mat and layer that onto a piece of Secret Lagoon. It's actually quite fun doing the melt pot things. You get kind of carried away and you just end up with loads of pieces of that you may or may not use, but you've had fun doing it, so it doesn't really matter whether you use it or not. You won't have made a card yet. It's 4 weeks on Saturday, so it's ages away yet. Kathleen's who asked? Somebody asked. I can't remember who asked then. Somebody's asked Phil if he's made my daughter a card yet, because she's getting married on the 25th of February. It's far too early yet. Right, so this is going on here. Should we put that on foam? Yeah, let's put that on a bit of foam. What have we got in here? I took all 2mm. Normally I'd like to flatten that first before I put it on. Scissors. So you wouldn't get this length of demo on the TV. Just saying. Okay, straightish, and then this is going to go in the middle. I could have put an extra bit of I could have gone around the edge with gold paint. That would have been quite nice. You can do that. It's too late now. So that's going there, like so. And we're going to have, just for you, like that. Sorry, my chair makes a racket. And then the one I did the other day is a little bit smaller than this one. It's actually golder as well. So see, a lot of difference in size. So we're going to go with this one because it's smaller. So we're going to pop that, perhaps, let's see how it looks. I quite like that. That works. And then we can have the other sentiment down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a bit of tape there. We'll have a bit of tape top as well. So it's mixed media, but it's not scary, is it? It's just fun, that's all it is. This tape's got backs that stick to you. I'll pop this one on a bit of tape. Now, obviously, I'm not going to hunt for them now. What I would probably do to bring the gold in is I'd put up some gold pearls around the edges as well, just to bring that in. So there we go. There's a bit of mixed media for you. Easy peasy. But it's a little bit different, isn't it, to what we did earlier. Now, very quickly, because we're 2 hours 10, I can't believe it. I'm just going to show you some other things as well, which are finished. Well, they're not finished, nothing's finished, but give you some other ideas. Now, let's grab another piece of card. There are gilding flakes work really well with this style of stamp, and there are 4 new gilding flakes from Cosmic Shimmer. There's this one. They were announced, they were released Tuesday, and I do have them all in stock at the moment. This one is called Copper Teal, and this one is the one that I'm going to be using. Then this one is called Spiced Honey. And these have just been used on a piece of double-sided sheet just to show you how they look, which is rather lovely. This one's called Raspberry Kiss. So these have got reds and purples and silvers in it. And then this one is the last one, and this one is called Sunlit Forest. So this again has got purples and it's got oranges in it and gold and really deep, rich colours. So they're from Cosmic Shimmer. Like I say, I've got them in stock on my website right now. Okay. So what we're going to use is we're going to use a piece of cut and dry foam, and we're going to use some indigo blue flitter glue, which actually I prefer it to the Cosmic Shimmer flake and glitter glue. It's less scary to use, and it doesn't. It just seems to come off the stamps easier, and it's just not as panicky as the other one. I think it's better. I'm not sure if my nipple is blocked or not. I never thought I'd say that, but there's a little mechanism that you just need to unscrew, and then you can dispense your glue onto a piece of cut and dry foam to make yourself a glue pad. And then whatever you do, try not to get it on your fingers. You kind of screw it back again and make sure you clean the end so that it doesn't get all bunged up. And then you want to spread it all over the piece of cut and dry foam, and so it gets absorbed and that makes you a glue pad as opposed to an ink pad. Let's put all that in that one, I think. Then we're going to select a stamp. And we'll use, what one haven't I used? I've used that one. I haven't used the daisy one, so let's use the daisy one. Don't forget, you can do your sentiments like this as well, which is a good way of covering up any bits that you miss. It's not so much an exact science as using inks, because you've got that kind of, I call it a 3-second rule. So you count to 3 and you make sure that you take your stamp off of the card, otherwise the glue will get absorbed into the card and will rip the card or whatever you're stamping onto. So let's go on to, I'm going to use my stamping platform again to give myself a bit of cushion, which will help me. Sorry, looking at it again. As always, it wouldn't be one of my demos if I didn't knock the camera 97 million times. Right, so make sure we're all ready. That's all we need to do. Don't need that burst of Claire. Don't need that. Right. So this is my glue pad. So we're in shot. And then you're just going to use your glue pad just like you would an ink pad. So lots of tapping. And the main thing is to make, like I say, you've got the 3-second rule, but then you've also got your fact that you want to clean your stamp now and your block. Now don't panic, because you don't, if you're doing a repeat, and I would suggest that if you've got a dirty stamp, in other words a gluey stamp, I would suggest that you do a batch, especially as some are going to be better than others. So get a load of black card and a load of white card, because it looks fantastic on black, and do a whole load. And once you've finished, then you make sure you wash your stamp straight away. I'm going to stick it in some water and then I'll go and wash it as soon as we're done. So lots and lots of tapping. I'm only going to do a white one, because I've got a black one to show you. And you can put this foam into the water as well and wash it out and then use it again and again and again. Right, 1, 2, 3, let's go 4. And then peel it away. Okay. Can't really see a lot. I do know that I've got a sweet spot about there on the stamp, because I keep on missing that bit. This is where we want to put it in water, but you don't want to get glue all over your fingers, because when you do use your flakes, you're just going to get covered in flakes. It's quite a good way to get flaky nail varnish, actually. Let's put that stamp in water so it's so that's nice and clear now, so we know that we can go on top of that. If it's blue, it means that you've used quite a lot of glue. Let's just wash that as well, because I'll use that again. Yeah, it means that you've used quite a lot of glue and you need to wait for it to be clear. Obviously, if you've got a production line going, don't put them on top of each other, because they're going to stick together, but have them laid out all out on a table and make sure the cat doesn't walk over the top of them, because he's going to get very, very mucky paws, and he might be kind of shaking his back leg or trying to get rid of it all the time. Right, I'm going to go on to a piece of copy paper, and I'm going to move these out of the way, because mats like to attract mats like to grab hold of the gilding flakes as well, these static in them. And where are my gilding flakes? There they are on the windowsill. So this is the copper teal. That's all right, Chrissy. I know we've been going on for a long time today. There's just so much you can do with these stamps. It's just, I felt that while I've got you here, I might as well show you, and you can always kind of pick up. This is the last actual demo, and then I'm going to show you some bits and pieces that I've finished. So this is the copper teal, so we're going to just put some flakes on here. Don't sneeze, don't breathe. Sometimes you find some of the flakes are in big bits. Like that's a really big bit, that is. We don't want gold, do we? First time Cosmic Shimmer bought some new ones. There was the chocolate one last year, but it's been a while since they brought any new ones out. I have a bit of a love-hate with gilding flakes. I do love the effect that they give you. So now we're going to just move them around just a little bit. You'll grab onto the glue, and then we're going to use a piece of Cocals and Stooches. It does have a name, can't remember it at the moment. Oh, look under the range of tools on my website and you'll find them. So you spread it all out first of all. It does go everywhere. Bigger piece of card is better. Then you give it really good work so that you're getting the detail of the stamp. The more you scrub it, that's what it's called. The more you scrub, the more detail you get. And if you've got big bits, really work at those, because you need to kind of get that detail of the stamp. Fantastic. That's a good one. I've done a good one there. So you can get rid of any excess with the other side of the rub it, scrub it, the smooth side. And you can decant those bits back into the jar if you want to. Let's just get rid of extra little bits. Okay, so look at that. The detail is incredible. You've even got the little dots either side of the stems. Isn't that just wonderful? They are perfect stamps to use with your gilding flakes. Yeah, I did get rub it scrub it in the end, Kathleen. So let's just clear up the mess, and then we can show you what you could do with those as well. Try and encase these as much as possible into a piece of paper, so that when I empty the bin I don't get covered with it all over again. And a bit of water will grab them as well. Okay, the cat's going to wear some. Let's get my board back in again. Right, so I was going to show you the circle frame on there, but obviously I've used that. That's one I did earlier, which was not as good as this one. This one is much better. So here's a frame, look, that's too big. Pretend this is white. So once you pop a frame around that, that's really pretty, isn't it? Yeah. If you do it on black, this is the same copper teal gilding flakes on black. Same stamp. This is your the daisy one. But again, you can change it so it's obviously just have a bit of imagination, because I'm not going to stick the frame on and cut it out. But you can pop it into an oval, and it looks fabulous as an oval. Then I've also, I don't know if you remember a while back, when we did, let's see if I can grab it. Oh, there they are. This is only half, but do you remember when we did, I think it's when we just bought the chalk paints out, I did a masterboard demo, so you find that on YouTube. and I've stamped on top of one of those with the tulip garden. So this was an A4, so that's A5. So half of one of these is an A6, and I've stamped on top of there. Now, as I said to you before, stamping on top of paint doesn't always dry that well. So the thing to do is to leave it for a while, but then you can actually pop a frame around it. So hopefully the recipient won't, it'll be raised, and so the recipient won't go anywhere near it. Obviously you can just add some, this is nearly dry now, add some kitchen roll over the top to dampen it off. But you can imagine, can't you? So you've got that frame around it, a sentiment somewhere, and you've got a beautiful card or a piece of artwork for your wall. Also, when you're thinking of stamping on things, and I wanted to do this, but I had to make Nathan a bacon sandwich, so I didn't. I was going to grab some of the background papers from Phil. So when you had things like the Urban Textures volumes 1, 2 and 3. I think it was volume 1, which was the greeny one. That would be fantastic to stamp onto, because it's got a little bit of a coating on the paper, so it's not a porous surface. So if you're struggling with stamping your silhouettes, then you're going to be able to stamp on those really well. And also the Fairy Hugs paper pads, I think would go really, really well with these stamps, particularly this one called Evening Field. I can imagine that these would just be fab for your stamps on top of there. Imagine that on there like that. I think that's going to look brilliant. So this is a Fairy Hugs one, but if you've got any of the Urban Textures from Mr. M, they're going to work well too. So that's an idea for your backgrounds if you don't want to actually do that. Also, a lot of you know that I like my Distress Oxide spray backgrounds, and there is a YouTube video that shows you how to do this background. And this is a slightly smaller frame, but you can see with the slightly smaller frame that works beautifully as well on there, and obviously matte and layer and you know, make that up. Now, like I said to you, when you do first get your stamps, it's a good idea for you to try them out and check where the sweet spots are. So on the daisy, I've got a little sweet spot here where I don't tend to press on that bit. But that's absolutely fine. So the DL dies are on the show, and so you could actually just choose to not use the bottom. I've stamped this 2 and a bit times, and you could choose not to use the bottom and just matte and layer and cut that out, and that would be a fantastic card as a DL card. There is just one other thing I wanted to show you before we finish, because I did actually stamp it, so it would be good to actually show you if I can find it. Well, this is another background. I haven't stamped on that one there, but I think that would be fabulous to stamp on top of. Here we go. Talking about DLs as well, this is the final thing I'm showing you. So you've got the eyelet DL, and you've got the double debossed DL, and then another eyelet DL here. This is masking off the edges of this one, and then I've used 3 of them chalky paints. So we've got the obviously olive and the summer skies and the custard slice. Just very, very watered down. So I watered the card first, and then I put a watery bit of paint over the top, and then this is your Wildflower Garden stamped 3 times, just the top bits across there. So that's going to make you a really cool card once that's matte and layered as well. So lots and lots and lots that I've shown you, hopefully given you loads of ideas, because there's just so much you can do with these stamps, and I think Phil's really on a winner here. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Do remember to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is at Julia Watts Crafts on YouTube, and there's also the Crafting with Phil Martin and Sentimentally Yours YouTube channel as well, which we'd love you to subscribe to. So like I say, I hope you've enjoyed it. Phil's shows on Create and Craft are tomorrow at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. and from 8 p.m. onwards on my website you'll be able to find a discount on all the items on the show by putting yours 10 in the discount code box at checkout. I do only ship to UK addresses though. And then Phil's got his golden ticket thing that he's doing on his honeypotcrafts.co.uk website as well. So obviously we love it if you shop direct with either Phil or myself, and do remember to join the Crafting with Phil Martin and Sentimentally Yours group on Facebook for lots and lots of inspiration. And thank you so much for watching.